Hello everyone, welcome back to the Curious Shelf. You're joining me on a cold, drizzly day in Brussels. Good to see you all here. Welcome to new subscribers. Welcome back to those who already know me. This is the Curious Shelf in Brussels. So first and foremost, yes, some of you guessed, I took a little break. I have just been working on some things and they were taking up energy and time, and I just couldn't split between this and YouTube. So I'm so sorry, I have been away for the last few weeks, but it's good to be back. And those who do TarotTube, I'm sure some of you have that experience, or maybe some of you have that experience where if we haven't done a video for a while, getting back into doing videos feels so strange, and it's almost like the mind just locks itself out, for me anyway. So I thought I would do a video today on decks that really are serving a beautiful purpose in my practice. They're serving a purpose of just, it's almost like energies that are walking with me. I'm not using these decks as daily draws. I'm not using them for path working. I'm not using them in terms of journaling, self-development, divination, however you want to put it. They're not for any of those reasons. These are decks that just I am enjoying. And just as I'm filming, we have a siren coming through. But these are just decks that I'm finding very good in terms of just their energy. So without further ado, let me get straight onto the first deck, which is the reason why I'm doing this video actually, because I've really been loving working with it. It's a deck I picked up earlier this year. It's the Le Vampyre by Lucy Cavendish and artwork by Jasmine Beckett-Griffith. JBG, I'm going to say, because otherwise I'm going to butcher that name. Now, this is a deck that I picked up the same time I picked up the Wonderland Oracle, also by the same creators, Lucy Cavendish and JBG. And I know that they've done several decks together. But this deck I picked up to use in this period, and I thought I'd do it for like a weekly draw or for some journaling and self-development work or that kind of thing. And rather than that, this deck has been calling to me. So I took it off the shelf. I was like, okay, I could hear it. I was like, all right, let's have a chat. And immediately it was Jasmine Beckett-Griffith's artwork, which really has blown me away. So these are the backs, and this is the matte edition that I bought. This is the Blue Angel matte edition, so the newer one. And these cards have just really, the artwork on this matte edition is just so, it's almost like I'm falling into it. I'm falling into the scene, I'm drawn into it. Of course, this has its black cat, this particular card has a black cat, always dear to my heart. But this Oracle deck has just been amazing in terms of being a companion in the mornings. There's nothing else to, lighting a candle and just sitting with it. I don't particularly draw a specific card. Sometimes I'm looking through it. Sometimes I'm just observing what's going on. Sometimes I'm reflecting on the keywords. Sometimes I'm just enjoying it for what its quality and its spark. It's a spark that's going on within me. I'm someone that at this time of year, I mean, I run throughout all through the year. So this time of year, when I go into the forest, it's very, the soil is wet, it's damp, the earth, of course, we're losing all this color. And a deck like this, especially this one, it's got those subdued hues that really match, to this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere. So I've been really loving and enjoying this deck. I love the animals that are in it. I love the artwork. I love the fact that sometimes the face, like something as simple as this, and it says thirst, it conveys so much, right? Like she really needs something. There's a begging going on. There's a kind of like a pleading. There's a need. And there's an innocence. And at the same time, when we see the blood on her lips, we know that this isn't as innocent as we might think, So, yeah, I really think that JBG has done an amazing job in conveying the keyword and then the ambience of that card, what it's trying to convey and where it's trying to bring us as a reader, as a practitioner. But I've just been sitting with this deck in the mornings, not in terms of personal use so much in terms of my journey, but more in terms of just in wonder of the deck. That's the best way I can put it, and enjoying it for what it is. So this has been something that I wasn't expecting this year, but it's been a very pleasant oracle deck. And I usually have it out on my desk in the mornings and in the evenings. I mean, it's not sitting on my desk, but I mainly look through it near the beginning of a day or the end of a day. And yeah, so I definitely recommend this deck if you're drawn to this kind of energy. It is a very deep energy. I don't want to keep saying dark, because this always implies, to me, it implies something negative, or, you know, going into our shadow and seeing things that, like, you know, are painful and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I find that ends up taking away from something that is so much more broader, you know, the depths of emotions we have, and the fact that we're on a spectrum of emotions and spectrums of feelings and mental invocations of thoughts and whatever. It's just, for me, this is black and white thinking sometimes that doesn't really, it jars me. And so I want to see this deck as a twilight deck. That's how I'm going to put it, as a dawn and twilight deck. It crosses so much in terms of light to dark. And of course, you know, it says here eternal youth. I mean, you know, as a vampire, I mean, it's an eternal youth that comes at a big price, basically. So I understand where the roots of this deck are and what it's fundamentally trying to convey in terms of its original inception. But for me, this deck is just more right now serving as something that I'm just enjoying it for what it is, in terms of its energy, its flow, the beauty of it. It says here, ecstasy, yielding, rapture, bliss. So yeah, and the colors, you know, the artwork is just so exquisite on this deck. So yes, I mean, look at that. It says Menade. So I think this is referring to a specific person, a character, and then it says here madness, ecstasy, ritual, and then finally energy release. So again, this deck just has so much depth and variety. I know this says something like the last day in the sun or something. Yeah, her last day in the light. So yeah, I mean, this is just before she's about to take that step. And you can see the eyes are very different, right? You can see the eyes are very different from here as this human to, let's say, here. You know, that death will come. Or let's say this one even, you know, it says here, the call of the night. So you can see the change that's happening slowly. I'm just comparing them now here, primal. So yeah, this deck has a very interesting energy that I've just enjoyed as a, like I say, companion deck for me in the mornings and the evenings. If you're looking for like an altar deck, I would definitely say that this might be something for you. If you want something visually that you go into and you want to take your own interpretation of the expression, create your own thoughts around it, feelings, and so forth, this is an interesting deck for that. Another deck that has actually, I've been using it since August on and off, and it's still coming back. What I got from in August, I'm still feeding off that, to be quite honest with you, is the White Light Oracle by alanafairchild. So I'm showing here two Blue Angel decks, and the reason also why I'm showing two Blue Angel decks is because I really find that Blue Angel decks are very good at just being interesting to use in their own right. I don't need to pair them on anything. They're so rich in their material. So this is the White Light Oracle, artwork by Andrew Gonzalez. Now again, I'm going to more focus on the artwork rather than the guidebook, because that's why I've picked these decks to show you today on this channel. Again, I originally fell in love with this deck, to be quite honest with you, because I was going to chop it, and then it kind of like screamed at me like, don't leave me alone. So I left it alone. And I have to say, even though it's not about the guidebook, the one thing this deck has a fantastic guidebook by alanafairchild. Kudos, I think she did an amazing job here. I'm not someone that looks at the topic of love very often. It's a very strange concept for me. I can't say more than that in that sense. But this guidebook does it very, very well. And it doesn't leave me reeling thinking, oh, to be quite honest with you, it does it really, really well. I'm quite stoic sometimes. But I want to talk about the artwork. Now, I originally picked up this deck. I think I've already mentioned this. One of my favorite movies is The Devil's Advocate. It's Al Pacino, Ashley Judd, Keanu Reeves. It's a 90s movie. I love it. I am a 90s girl, as in, like, you know, through and through. Like, all of my teens are in the 90s, basically. So I am really, like, hardcore 90s girl, like Keanu Reeves when he was younger, that kind of thing. And so I love that movie. It's a really great movie. If you want to watch something that's a little bit darkish, a little bit questions how we think, how we see things, I recommend The Devil's Advocate. But anyway, if you've seen that movie, then you'll know this. Then you'll know where I'm coming from when it comes to this deck. And these are the backs, first and foremost. And by the way, this is not a dark deck though. That's the strange thing. This is a very gentle deck, but I have really gone back to the imagery this time. I think the imagery is very powerful in terms of, it's a very gradients of white and beige basically, and a little bit of pop of pink. But I really love it in terms of, there's something about an energy that it's capturing and how it moves. You know, the movement within the card that has got me again looking at it. Now, a lot of people have said this about this deck, that the keywords don't really make sense. Also for me as well, the keywords, I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm just going to say that. The guidebook is great, but I go beyond that. You know, I just really want to have I just really want to enjoy the deck. I was going to actually originally get rid of it because I wasn't bonding with it. This was months ago. And then just before I was ready to sell it, I said, no, let me try and working with it one more time. And the deck just spoke to me in this very interesting way. So it has a lot of character. That's what I'm going to say. This deck has character, even though it's just really these swirls and these faces and these animals and shapes and beings and mythical creatures at times and that kind of thing. You know, it's very historical in the sense that Alana Fairchild is using a lot of the mythology, worldwide mythology. Of course, it's not really true to it. I have to say, I think she's extrapolated quite a lot from it. But I'm just taking the deck right now in terms of its artistic reference and its artistic meaning, and I'm really enjoying it. And as like I said, it really comes from one of my favorite movies where I really bond with this deck in terms of its artwork. So this has been another deck which not so much every day, where the Le Vampire has been serving me every morning or every evening. This is more a weekend thing where I'm sitting with it at the weekend and just being with it and being with these kind of like very strange esoteric shapes and so forth. And so yeah, if you are interested in something again that just helps you to look into a specific kind of like energy, you know, sorry, that's my cat, a specific energy or a specific way of seeing something or unseeing something, this might be a deck for that. Red Honey, come here, honey. This might be a deck for that. So yeah, I really like it because it's really getting me to sit with images, and because they're so simple, I really gotta see it from different ways and different positions. This almost to me feels like this egg, it says the sun. You know, again, the keywords don't make sense to me, but the imagery is very, very powerful here. And like I said, the guidebook is great. But yeah, this is something I've been looking at more at the weekends in terms of where it's taking me. And so yeah. So anyway, I thought I would just share that with you. It's a very short video today. Well, short for me anyway. I hope you enjoyed it. It's just more a little bit of a ramble on decks that really make me enjoy the scene, but not so much from going into it, more from a perspective of what it's reminding me of, where, you know, it draws upon certain memories and certain pieces that I love and I enjoy, and they're very close right now to this kind of like also this Samhain energy that we're moving towards. This is really a time of year for me where I really enjoy being with the earth. As you can see, I'm already collecting all my pine cones from running outside. it's just where I really need the earth to come into my home. I love spiders, as many of you know. I'm a huge fan of spiders. They're all coming back in, you know. That's how I know that, like, it's that time of year. And there's something about, yeah, that earth energy that comes into my home, which I really love. And so that's where I'm at right now in my practice. And these are just some of the decks that help me to, again, in the mornings, you know, just lighting a candle, being still, and being with something. And I think that's a beautiful part of practice, right? That we just get to be calm within. At the end of this month, I'm going to talk about more of the decks that I've been working with. I think I want to keep this video a little bit short, but more of the decks I've been working with, which really help ignite the part of me that's more, I don't want to say a witch because it's such an overused word these days, but the part of me that really invokes and becomes one with the air that we have, you know, with that this very earthy, pagan, animalistic, very core and grounded energy, which I absolutely adore. And you know, and the fact that it's very damp now, and the woods, yeah, it's something that I breathe. To be honest with you, it's just something that I breathe through me. And so yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed what I've been looking at. I will be back probably in the next few days or next week. I will definitely try to make more videos. And thank you for watching today, and I will see you all soon. Take care now. Bye.